Panama Canal is a major attraction for travelers because it offers the fastest route for ships to move from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. However, some see it as a red flag. Imagine you're transporting expensive cargo on your ship. You're not just excited, but fully alert to ensure a safe journey. But guess what? You're stuck in Los Angeles, eagerly trying to reach New York as quickly as possible. You call a friend who suggests a route that goes all the way down around South America. But you quickly realize this option is both time-consuming and risky, especially when you're carrying something valuable. Then there's a second option, a route through the Canadian archipelago. However, this seems even less practical. It's colder, longer, and way more challenging. Naturally, the shortest route through the Panama Canal seems like the best choice. But wait, that doesn't work for you either. The canal has its own limitations and can't accommodate your ship. While the Panama Canal was perfect for ships in the 1900s, today it just can't meet the demands of modern shipping. Later in this video, we'll dive into why that is. Now, you're left with these two options. Which one would you choose? What if there were a fourth option? That's where the Nicaragua Canal plan comes into play. This is what we're going to discuss today. Stay tuned until the end to find out whether this canal could ever compete with the Panama Canal's monopoly. To better understand the need for Nicaragua's canal project, it's important to first grasp why the Panama Canal is considered a critical cornerstone of global trade. The Panama Canal opened in 1914, after 10 years of construction to connect the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Today's generation might not view it as a marvel, but at the time, it was the most expensive megaproject in U.S. history. However, the authorities didn't invest such a large sum just to ease travel between the two oceans. The project was also seen as a geopolitical strategy to establish the U.S. as a world power. According to the Panama Canal Authority, the canal was completed at a cost of approximately $375 million, including the $10 million paid to Panama and the $40 million paid to the French company. Undoubtedly, the Panama Canal serves as a vital link between two major oceans, making travel much more convenient for ships that previously had to undertake lengthy and dangerous voyages. But why didn't the engineers consider other ways to build this link? Why was a specific population fortunate enough to benefit from it? The story behind this is truly fascinating. Before I share it with you, I just want to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. This way, you won't miss out on even more incredible project news. In the early 1900s, the U.S. had two options: build a canal through Panama or across Nicaragua. Initially, Nicaragua was considered a good choice for linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans due to economic and military reasons, and U.S. authorities viewed it as a feasible location. However, it was later determined that building a canal in Nicaragua would require engineers to overcome many challenges, particularly those posed by dangerous volcanoes. Following a heated debate on June 19, 1902, the U.S. Senate voted in favor of the Panama Canal. However, the idea of the Nicaragua Canal never faded, and that's why we're discussing it today in this modern century, where civil engineering has advanced significantly. This suggests that the Nicaragua plan was so intriguing and had enough potential to retain its value over the years. But what draws attention away from the Panama Canal? In recent years, it has faced several challenges. On March 6, 2024, the BBC published an article titled, "Can the Panama Canal Save Itself?" to raise the alarm that the world's most famous waterway is running dry. Unlike the Suez Canal, which doesn't rely on rainfall, the Panama Canal depends on rainwater, and that's been insufficient. According to this article, a lack of rainfall and the El Niño weather pattern are responsible for the second driest year in the canal's 110-year history. Last October was recorded as the driest month since records began. The best-known Panama Canal engineer, Ilya Espino de Murata, addresses climate change, saying, "Panama is a very rainy country, but we see there's a reduced rainfall pattern coming that is impacting everywhere, so we definitely need to prepare for the future." Obviously, water-saving measures take priority, meaning the canal can no longer accommodate the high volume of ships passing through each day. Strict guidelines must also be followed when carrying cargo due to weight restrictions. While these restrictions may vary over time, they still can't keep up with the growing demands of today's global trade. This answers the question we raised at the beginning of the video. This is why you couldn't even consider this canal as the best option for your journey, the third choice. Similar stories have been shared by many travelers worldwide who have been struggling for years. Finally, a mysterious Chinese billionaire stepped in and added the biggest twist to the story. Wang Jing, the owner of the Hong Kong-based HK&D Group, was behind the ambitious plan for the Nicaragua Canal, a project that some view as a joke. A quick search of Wang Jing on Google reveals a wealth of information about his business ventures, particularly his major interest in the Nicaragua Canal development. However, before 2012, he wasn't nearly as well known as he is today. Born in Beijing in 1972, Wang claimed to have lived an ordinary life until then, which seems somewhat confusing given his later rise to fame. At one point, Wang began mining gold and precious stones in Cambodia. Gradually, he transitioned into becoming a wealthy businessman in China. In 2014, he ranked number 12 on Forbes' list of China's billionaires after selling his stake in Beijing Xingwei Telecom Technology to a publicly listed company, now known as Beijing Xingwei. However, Wang gained true global fame when Nicaragua signed a deal with him in 2012 to establish the Hong Kong-Nicaragua Development Group, HKND. Wang had recognized the rapid growth of shipping trade, which was projected to increase by 240% by 2030. Additionally, the demands of modern commerce were pushing for much larger ships. This created the need for a wider and deeper canal that could support heavier loads, thus offering greater convenience and efficiency for shippers. In an interview with Sino Shio magazine, Wang stated, "The Nicaragua Canal and Development Project represents a tremendous opportunity to transform global trade and ignite a new era of growth and opportunity for Nicaragua, its people, and the entire region." But what's odd here? This idea has existed for centuries, so why is it being seen as an international joke? Before we dive into the answer, let's share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see how you analyze the facts in the civil engineering industry. There's a lot of criticism about how a little-known businessman could be behind such a massive transcontinental project. Recall the previous video where we discussed New York's insane plan to expand into the sea. We learned how the New York Times covered the idea proposed by professor and economist Jason M. Barr. While the plan gained attention, it faced many of the same concerns as Nicaragua's project. Just like Barr's background was criticized, this project faces similar scrutiny. We discussed how experts viewed Barr's plan as random and incomplete, pointing out that he wasn't an engineer and had no experience with a project of that scale. Likewise, Wang wasn't known for any similar construction projects before, but there's something even more mysterious about him. It's said that Wang Jing was friends with Laureano Ortega, the son of the Nicaraguan president. According to The New Yorker, Wang met Laureano in 2012 when several Nicaraguan officials, including Laureano, visited China. During the visit, they attended a meeting with 4 members of a high-ranking delegation from the Communist Party. Wang and Laureano then had a private discussion, which likely lasted around 2 hours. Later, Laureano told his friends that he had received a message to deliver to his father. Was Wang's connection with Laureano the real reason this deal went through? Next, there's the same issue that New York's expansion plan is facing. Who would pay $50 billion for such a massive construction? Obviously, Wang can't afford this on his own. In a news conference in Beijing in June 2013, Wang dismissed the criticism and expressed his strong determination. He said, "We don't want it to become an international joke, and we don't want it to turn into an example of Chinese investment failures." Wang claimed that he had convinced global investors to begin the project, and construction officially started in December 2024. However, things didn't go as planned. By 2024, the project was cancelled. Despite being presented as groundbreaking in 2014, authorities saw no significant progress in connecting the two oceans. Critics also argued that the canal project would threaten rural communities and the environment. So, is this a joke, or could something impressive still be announced? Or will the Panama Canal always remain unrivaled? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you don't want to miss upcoming videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button.